Hi everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about The Long Game by Canadian author Rachel Reid. And unless you've been living under a rock, chances are you already know all about the hockey romance series Game Changers, or at least you've heard of it. Last year, Hit the Rivalry, the second book in this series, was adapted for TV or for a streaming platform actually, and went internet-breaking viral, sending Rachel Reid's book sales skyrocketing. Suddenly, everyone wanted to get their hands on this international phenomenon, and the books were selling out everywhere. The series was a breakthrough for both the author and the cast, and I couldn't be happier. Honestly, they're insanely talented. Needless to say, I joined the Hit the Rivalry frenzy, tore through the book, and binge-watched the series. And just like that, it became my favorite read of 2025. I already told you all about Hit the Rivalry in another video a few months ago, so if you haven't read the book or watched the series and don't want to get any spoilers, I'd suggest you stop watching here. The Long Game is the sixth installment in Game Changers. It was released in 2022 and is to date the last book in the series. But the good news is that Rachel Reid has already announced she's working on the next one, Unrivaled. It will pick up where The Long Game left off, and we'll get to see more of all-star hockey players and rivals turned lovers, Shane and Ilya. It's set to come out in June 2027, so we'll have to wait a bit, but honestly I think it will be worth it, so take your time, Rachel. By the way, this has nothing to do with the book, but I just have to say it. I'm absolutely in love with Hudson Williams and Connor Story, the leads in the series, and their Met Gala looks last week. They absolutely rock their outfits and slayed. This is why my standard for men is unattainable. They just set the bar way too freaking high. So now I'm done with my little fanboy moment. I got a bit sidetracked there, but now let's go back to the book. The Long Game picks up a few years after Hit the Rivalry. At the end of the book, Shane and Ilya had finally stopped denying their feelings for each other and committed to a serious relationship after years of secret hookups with no strings attached. They decide to keep their relationship secret until they retire from hockey, but they try to build a narrative that they went from enemies to lovers so they can spend more time together without raising suspicions. Ilya left his position with the Boston Raiders and signed with the team in Shane's hometown to be closer to his boyfriend. Everything seems to be going according to plan. Shane and Ilya have successfully run their summer hockey camp and joined charity, and now they can spend more time together. But not everything is sunshine and roses, especially for Ilya. Even though he now feels like he really finally has a family, his found family, and gets unconditional support from Shane and the Hollanders, he can't help but feel lonely and gloomy. He's gone from being the leader of one of the best teams in the league to playing for a team that always loses. He used to be all smiles, tireless and cocky, the life of the party, and a born leader. But lately he's been feeling off. He keeps to himself and tries to maintain this facade because he doesn't want to seem weak or make Shane worry, but he sinks deeper and deeper into his sadness. He's terrified of becoming depressed and following in his mother's footsteps by taking his own life. But keeping Shane in the dark and pretending doesn't make things any better. The truth is that both Shane and Ilya are exhausted from having to keep their relationship a secret. Ilya wishes they could just tell everyone and let it unfold naturally. I feel like he's more ready than Shane to publicly come out and announce their relationship. Ilya grows more and more insecure and can't help but have intrusive thoughts that Shane will always put hockey first, that he is not enough for Shane or for his loving parents who have taken Ilya in as if he were one of their own children. He knows he's just lying to himself, but that doesn't make it any easier. If the first book was about them processing their feelings behind closed doors, this one is about them coping with their relationship out in the open. I know I said I wasn't Team Shane Hollander after reading Hit the Rivalry, but this book really made me feel for Ilya. It was just so heartbreaking to see him like that, holding his emotions back until he just burst at the seams. To be honest, the tables slightly turn in the second half of the book, and Shane is the one who suffers the most, facing the backlash of their secret relationship, while Ilya's team is supportive as hell. But they are both going through their own struggles, so... And let's not even talk about that one scene on the plane. You already know which one I'm referring to if you read the book, and it made me tear up. This book was an emotional roller coaster, and I loved it. I loved the rivalry because of the rivals to lovers trope, the tension, all the secrets, and the slow infatuation. But the long game gave us heart-to-hearts, more vulnerability, and cheesy, loving moments. And I'm all for it. Maybe it was a bit too corny sometimes, and fairly enough, there was quite a bit of sex. Once again, a bit too much for my liking, but still, I ate it up. It didn't have me in a frenzy like the first book, but I suspect that's because of the series. Reading Hidden Rivalry while the first season was ongoing and watching all the updates in real time was a whole different, more immersive experience. In this book, we also get a glimpse into other hockey players in the series, so the different stories kind of intertwine. If you are the kind of reader who doesn't want anything given away and you are thinking of reading one of the other non-Hola related books, it's best if you just don't jump straight to the long game like I did. If you read the book, you can write a comment below and tell me all about it. And if you haven't, I totally recommend it, but I must warn you. Brace yourselves for a bumpy ride. That's all for now. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you all very soon.